This is Ralph from Skull Crush Inc. Today I'm taking a close look at the CZ P10C. I know the P10C isn't a brand new release. The pistol's been around for a few years now, but not every video needs to be about the latest and greatest. The P10C is still being produced, and more importantly, it's still one of the better striker-fired compact pistols on the market today. I think a lot of people out there are still curious about it. Not everyone's had a chance to handle or shoot one, and sometimes it's a good idea to review something that's been around long enough to build a real reputation. So that's why I'm doing this review. This gun's not going anywhere, and I think it's still very relevant for people looking for a carry gun, home defense pistol, or just a solid range shooter. Alright, let's take a look at the CZ P10C. This is a striker-fired compact 9mm pistol that's been around for a while now, and it's built up a solid following. I spent some time with it, shot it, carried it, and here's what I think. First off, the grip. CZ really nailed the ergonomics on this one. The next time you're at a gun show or a gun shop, even if you're not looking at the P10C, I think you should take a second and pick one up just so you can see what I'm talking about. When I pick it up, it really sinks into my hand easily with no kind of adjustment needed whatsoever. The web of my hand goes up high on the back strap, right where it needs to be, and the stippling's just right. These little tiny squares are kind of sharp. I don't mean the type of sharp that's going to tear up your clothes or anything like that, but you're not going to have any trouble getting the grip on this, even if you have sweaty hands. This semi-aggressive grip texturing combined with the ergonomics is really going to help you mitigate recoil. Combine that along with this low bore axis, yeah, this is a flat shooter. It's very easy to get back on target quickly. The trigger is another thing worth pointing out. It's not a match trigger or anything like that, but for a duty/carry pistol, it's surprisingly clean. There's a little take up, then it breaks with a pretty positive wall. The reset is nice and short, better than I expected, especially compared to a lot of striker-fired guns in this price range. Now slide serrations, both front and rear. They're both deep enough to get a hold of, even if you're running it with gloves or wet hands. These front slide serrations are a detail I appreciate because it looks good, although I don't personally use them. I only use the rear slide serrations. I think it would look kind of boring if it was just smooth at the front, and looks mean something to me. I think CZ did a great job with combining functionality with aesthetic appeal. Now let's be honest, when I'm spending my own money on a handgun, I want something that's not just functional, but also good looking. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Aesthetics matter, especially when you're dropping several $100 on a pistol you're going to carry, train with, or maybe even rely on in any given situation. The P10 hits that sweet spot for me. It's got a clean modern design, doesn't scream tactical, but still looks sharp. More importantly, now that it's been out for more than a few years, it backs it up with real-world performance, meaning it has some kind of track record now. It's not just a pretty face, it's a tool that runs well, feels good in my hand. That balance between form and function is what really stands out. And yes, in regards to track record, the P10C has been adopted by several law enforcement agencies around the world. Notably, the police of the Czech Republic, they include their P10C among their standard issue sidearms, along with other CZ models like the CZ 75 PCR and P07 Duty. In addition to its use in the Czech Republic, the P10C has also been selected by various international agencies. For instance, the Royal Malaysia Police and the Romanian Land Forces have incorporated this model into their arsenals. While the P10C's seen adoption abroad, its presence in U.S. law enforcement is less widespread, but some individual officers have chosen to carry the P10C. I've seen a few. The sights on this one are by XS sights. They're by far my favorite sights, and I use them on several of my carry guns. I especially like the fact that XS is out of Fort Worth, Texas, and I can drive down there to get my sights installed directly by them. But this set actually came with my P10C. When I first got it, I had intentions of installing a red dot, but these sights work so well, I don't see a need to. I believe some models still come with the basic white dot sights, but I prefer the bright orange front sight with the blacked out rear. I think that contrast between the blacked out rear and the bright front sight is important, especially if you have aging eyes like mine. As of the recording of this video, I'm almost 49 years old, and it seems like every year since I've turned 40, my ability to focus on that front sight starts diminishing a little bit more every year. Leave a comment below if you're over 40 and you're having the same issue. Anyways, this sight setup really helps me focus on the front sight. I've tested these sights without my glasses just to see if I can focus on that front sight without them, and I can, so that's saying a lot. No, I'm not sponsored by XS. They don't even know who I am. I just like the sights. If you're interested in these sights, I'll leave a link below. You can get them directly from XS, or you can get them off Amazon. I believe on Amazon it's going to be a little less expensive. But if that changes in the future, I'll be sure to update the link. I always try to get my subscribers the best deal possible. Now these controls are somewhat ambidextrous. I say somewhat because the mag release is reversible, not true ambi, but the slide stop is on both sides. It's not a huge selling point for me personally, but if you're lefty, then it's a plus. I think an example of a true ambidextrous gun would be the HK P-9, where you don't need to reverse anything, everything's already ambidextrous as is. As far as shooting goes, the P10C is smooth, recoil is very manageable, the slide seems to cycle fast, in a good way, and follow-up shots are quick and easy. The bore axis is low, which probably contributes to that. It's a very controllable gun, and I'd say it's just as capable on the range as it is for EDC or anything else for that matter. One thing I did notice, the magazines are solid and they feed reliably, but they can be a little tight to seat when they're fully loaded, especially with the slide forward. Just something I noted, no big deal, I wouldn't call it a complaint. Fit and finish overall are clean and solid. Nothing rattles, it feels like a well-built pistol, not something that was just thrown together. Although relatively inexpensive, it definitely does not feel cheap. CZ really put in time getting this right. It feels and shoots like a much more expensive gun than it actually is. If I had to nitpick, I'd say it's a little chunky for a compact. It's not bulky, but compared to something like a Glock 19, which is the comparison that everyone uses, you might notice a couple more ounces. That said, it's not uncomfortable to carry. I've carried it inside the waistband in a Skull Crush holster, and I have no complaints. Here's a quick size comparison between the CZ P10C and the Glock 19. You can see that the P10C is a little bit longer in the grip area, and also a little longer on the slide. Besides these two areas, the dimensions are going to be about the same. And as far as carry comfort goes, I'd rate them about the same. I feel about the same when I'm carrying the Glock 19 inside the waistband about the 4:30, 5 o'clock position as I do with the P10C. And they both conceal just as easy in my opinion. I don't really see that extra grip length in the P10C causing a problem with printing. As far as the weight of the P10C, on my scale it came in at 26.7 ounces with an empty magazine. To wrap it up, the CZ P10C is a well thought out pistol. I've had this particular one for about 3 years now, and it's my second one. That's how much I like it. I bought two. It's reliable, it's comfortable to carry, at least in my opinion, and it's fun to shoot. It doesn't feel flashy, it's not overhyped, it just does a job and it does it well. If you're looking for something in that compact striker-fired category, it's definitely worth checking out. Let me know in the comments if you shot the P10C and what your experience has been. And if you got any questions or you want to see a comparison with another pistol, drop those too. I've got more reviews coming. And that's it for my review of the CZ P10C. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and visit skullcrush.com.